Hi, today I'd like to show you a few Chinese stamps. Now, I used to like going to stamp auctions. Don't know a lot about stamps, but I used to like going to auctions and seeing all the variety of stamps. These were mainly auctions held by stamp societies in certain areas, Chelmsford, Ipswich, place like that. And you never knew what you'd find at these, and you'd get them at quite a good, reasonable price. Now, these are Chinese. I don't know much about Chinese stamps. But they did look sort of interesting because it says here, this is a folder I sort of got with some others, and it says China, mainly 1940s, useful overprints and mini sheets. So here we've got the first one. So 1940s, this was during the Second World War, so China was fighting Japan. The communists and Republicans were both fighting the Japanese. There was a lull in the fighting between each other, but as soon as the Japanese were expelled, then there was a civil war in China. And these are stamps from the Republican side. So this is Sun Yat-sen, and you've got that star or sun emblem at the top of the stamps. So that sort of recognises that it's a Republican, and I think this is used by the Taiwanese even today, because when the communists won, they pushed the Republicans into Taiwan. So the head of the Republicans in those days was Chiang Kai-shek. He set up a government in Taiwan, and that sort of sun, is the sort of emblem of the Republican side, and I think it's on the Taiwanese flag now. So this is Sun Yat-sen, the sort of a leader of the early Republicans. And they're sort of similar stamp, but all got overprints. Now, each of these underneath, somebody's done a lot of work looking at these stamps, because this one I think is Hupi. And then we got all the different Kwang Tung, that is. So he's had to go through and do a lot of work getting all the Szechuan. So all these sort of different areas of China produce their own stamps. Hunan, maybe. And this person has done a lot of work into it. Now, if you like to collect stamps and you want to go into a very specialist area, then this is one to go into, I think, because there must be hundreds of different types of stamps you can get in Chinese provincials. There's all these different provinces underneath. He's done loads of work trying to identify these. That's without the olden day. Nowadays you can get Google Translate. Haven't used it on these sort of stamps to find out if it does translate it well, but that was before this, so you'd have had to have got a book and then sort of looking up all the individual Yunnan. Have to look up all the individual province names and numbers. So there it is. This one, it's a nice one. It's 1941 thrift stamps, aren't they say? And here you got it's not sure if these might be Communist China. It hasn't got the sun on it. But it has got all these different colours, nice colours, and different values. Again, we've got another page of different areas of China. Again, the same sort of stamp, but just overlaid with values and provinces. So somebody's done a lot of work in identifying all these and putting all the numbers, and so there he is. Again, we've got another page of these. Look at this one. We got looks like a lorry again, there's the sort of standard stamps that have been overprinted with different values and areas. So we've got loads of different stamps. These are more easier to identify the characters, Chinese characters, than the other ones. I remember when I started collecting stamps when I was very young. Never did on a big scale, but these were always the ones you got in your free packets of stamps. These sort of Chinese stamps like this. They were so common. You always got them in sort of when you're going into approvals. In those days, they'd send you packets, and you'd sometimes get a free packet of 150 stamps or something. It tended to be these ones that you'd have got in your packet. So again, you've got different, not sure they've got different colours on these. That's the difference between these. Can't see anything else that's different. So maybe they've got different values for different colour. So you've got, yeah, it might be different colours, shadings. But you've got loads of different values. Again, you've got the same person. I think this is Sun Yat-sen. If you know different, let me know. But I think this is, and you've got all the different values. So these are quite interesting. We've got some modern Chinese stamps, which was included. So we've got some. I always know that it does say China in here, but I always know that if that's that sort of square with a sign through it, which means middle, and the China was called the Middle Kingdom. So if you see that sign on the stamp, you roughly got an idea it's Chinese rather than Japanese, because they are sometimes very different. But here again, you've got different. These are quite modern stamps. But again, you've got lots of nice pictures. Going back again to the old ones, we've got another one. These are very common as well, these sort of stamps. You've got loads of these with different values on, different places. Someone's done a lot of work identifying all these different ones. So I will be eventually putting these on eBay. So if somebody's into Chinese stamps, they might be of interest. And again, these are another Chinese stamps, and I think these are communist ones at the time of the communist takeover. Let's move it out a bit. Again, it's very similar things, the Great Wall of China with a thing over it. Then you've got lots of Sun Yat-sen. So these are, I think these might be communist, and Sun Yat-sen is the Republican. But then you've got Mao. I think this is Mao under here. Again, these are very sort of common stamps that you used to get in the packets. And again, you've got lots and lots of different overprints. These again, this temple sort of complex, that was another one that used to get a lot of. This one, yeah, all these were very common in my day, when you were getting your packets of stamps. But then you got the different. This one, you got a whole sheet of the stamp. So you've got different ones from each province. And again, there's lots of writing, so somebody's done a lot of work in producing these. So it's a sort of same stamp, but with loads and loads of different. Some are mint, so they haven't been fixed to a letter and gone through, while some are actually got postal marks on them. Again, you've got the same thing with, I think they're nearly all, so maybe a couple of other people. So somebody's done quite a lot of collecting of stamps here. It must have been somebody's pet joy. Which is a good thing to have. It's good to have a hobby to keep you active. You can see there's so many. You could do probably there must be pages and pages of them in here. But you can see that there are vast numbers. And if you're into Chinese history and stamping, this would be a great collection to start with. And very colourful as well. Some people just say stamps are just coloured bits of paper, but they do look nice. You could do quite a good collage with stamps, I think. Good as a wall decoration if you had lots and lots of stamps. It would be a wall decoration, art and history all together combined. So if you think about what to do with your stamps, maybe that's something you could do. They are interesting. And this goes on for quite a while. I'll go through it a bit quicker now. If you do want to see these much more detailed, then let me know in comments and I'll do another video where we just go through each individual stamp. But I was just going to show you basically what it looked like, this package. Different colours. And what I got, I can't remember what I paid for this, it wasn't that much in those days. It was quite a long time ago. So I get lots of stuff and I put it up in the loft. That's the thing with collecting. It tends to be, once you've got it, you put it away and you don't see it again. It's the excitement of, it's like tracking and capturing animals, and basically it's once you've got it, then you eat it and it's gone. But it's the tracking and the trying to track down items, purchasing them, that is the thrill, I think. It's all a bit psychological. I think that is part of what makes people collect. It's that very primitive instinct to track down things and capture them. And it is, there's some more different types of stamps there. It is very, I think it's a very basic human thing. Here again, he's done lots of work again on this one, air stamps. Some of the writing is very difficult to read, but one of these days, when I've got a few weeks to spare, I might have to go through all this and then look at individual items. And again, you've got different stamps here. Maybe now some people in China, maybe they would like these stamps because the trouble with Mao Zedong and the Cultural Revolution is that of Chinese items of the past were destroyed. And so now they're trying to reclaim their past and get back their history. And so they tend to be looking out for objects of history to bring back to China. So this is the 1948 philatelic exhibitions. Different values. This one's 1948 as well. I think restoration of, whatever that is, Taiwan, I think. Yeah, restoration of Taiwan. to Chinese rule. Again, 1948, I believe it is. It looks like a postman or something. We got the ship. These are very, very normal. Well, not normal, but very basic stamps I used to have in my collection. The stamp collecting was a thing in the 60s and 70s, but it ain't anymore. So the only ones that really people want are the really expensive stamps of triangles and stuff like that. I think it's at Cape of Good Hope triangles that sell for thousands or millions. These sort of stamps at the moment aren't all that. But it's a shame really, because they do look nice as bits of art really. If you looked at each individual one, you'd see the detail that has gone into making these and what the purpose of them was. A lot of it was propaganda, showing you the wonderful things that were the Republican regime. Or so this is 1947. Again, you've got lots more of these different colours. Now you've got the two colours. That's interesting. That's quite pretty. So they're not just the basic colours. 1947. Some more here. These are the mint ones. Then we've got Taiwan. In 1947, when the communists had taken over the mainland and Taiwan was left on its own, as it is today. But we will not say anything about the situation there at the moment. Don't be YouTube kicked out. These are 1947 as well. Don't know where that stamp's gone. It's probably in the packet somewhere. What's that? You've got some more. 1946, I think this is. So they need to be resorted. These are postage due stamps. Again, another little area that people sometimes collect. It's not really stamps, but I think these are 1946. Now this is Shanghai Shek, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of stamps. We've got these ones. Usually got aeroplanes on the air ones. These, I think that's Shanghai Shek. Just see on the top there, birthday of President Shanghai Shek, I think that it says. Again, we've got pages of these. I'll just show them up so that you get an idea of how many there are. People might be falling asleep watching this, and it's not supposed to be an asthma video. It just shows you a number of different types of stamps you can collect if you're into Chinese provisional stamps. Here we've got some modern ones. Nice pretty pictures. I think the older ones look better. I think the ones of the 1930s and 40s are the best looking stamps, especially in British colonial areas. They were very well printed. They weren't these mass produced rubbish you sometimes get in the later period. You got very nice detail. Look at the craftsmanship in making these pictures. Here we've got another one of Britain, Taiwan and America, 1943. I don't think the Chinese mainland would want those stamps. Get some postage dues. Again, you've got loads more different stamps here. You can. The 1940s. Some have been taken away, lost somewhere, or sold off separately. But they do look pretty, aesthetically nice to see. And the British stamps still today look nice. If you get the commemorative ones, they are little works of art. But some other places, they have deteriorated a lot in their production, and they're just little bits of coloured paper. So again, you can see the vast assortment of different Chinese stamps you can get if you're into it. Another one of Taiwan and American flags. Another page of these. I hope you're still with me. You haven't fallen asleep yet. But I'm just showing you what is available if you want to collect stamps. If you do like this, please give it a thumbs up. Even if you don't like it, give me a thumbs up. I don't mind, as long as you get a thumbs up. And subscribe if you haven't. I do produce sort of stamps, coins, anything I think of interest in history. I did start off as a history channel, but I got sort of sidetracked into other things. But I will be bringing a bit more history back again shortly. So again, we've got lots of different stamps. Again, we've got some more national stamps. It'd be good for somebody to, the different colours, so you've got the overstamps, sometimes this nice green. But you need to have a good qualification in Chinese, I think, to make this worth it, because it must be quite hard to read all these different Chinese characters. We're nearly at the end, so don't worry if you haven't dropped off now. You're near the end. That one has been just cut. It's got no perforation. Interesting. Again, got some more Sun Yat-sen stamps. There's 1947 again. Similar to the ones we got at the beginning. And here we've got some more of of those 1947 types. The stamp's come off there. Where does he go? He might be on here somewhere, I don't know. But again, you've got some different type of stamps here. We're coming to the last shot. So please look at my other videos. None of them go out of date. These are some different ones. These are, I think they're German and French. Shanghai at the top there, so they're French overprints, Shanghai class. German ones. This is a period of what they call in China the 100 years of humiliation, when bits of China were hacked off and given to people like the British, the French, the Germans and the Americans, like Hong Kong, and also the Portuguese, Macau. So these are to do with Shanghai. Then again a few more French, China ones. And these some more Chinese stamps, some earlier ones. And these are the old, again, and the very common ones, the old junks. 1913. The junks. A different place in those days. And also you've got some Russian ones I've got here. So these are Russian. This is China in Cyrillic. Again, sort of 1890s to 1900s. A few of the French overprints. Another stamp come up there. Some of these stamps are starting to fall off, I'm afraid. These to have some TLC. And here we've got some more Chinese at the top here. Early Chinese ones. And that is it. Oh, we've got another one that's fallen off there. Just in case you're looking for that one and you think, where is that one gone? There it is. So please give it a thumbs up, even if you don't like it, and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, and it does help me inspire me to carry on. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.